Yeah, my name's on it. Manifesting this life, you can manifest whatever you want. But do you know how? Well, I mean, all this talk about manifesting, it's important, especially in these times. I mean, we don't know where anything's going. You got to stay strapped in. You know what I mean? Because financially, to the world wars, to food shortages, you know, a lot of people think it's crazy what I do, or it's poppycock. To understand yourself. I think it's important to understand yourself in these times to manifest through differently. I mean, if you think about just what happened at the end of the 1930s to the beginning of the 1940s, don't you wish those people might have been able to understand themselves better? We're in a world where the control systems are out to really determine what you are and how you should manifest. But that's all a reflection, right? The reflection that maybe you're the one who's programmed into how to manifest your life. Maybe there's a uniqueness to you that actually doesn't look like anything that you've seen before. If I want to roll up to work in my UTV, hey, that's my own unique design. Poppycock.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and welcome to your full moon in Libra weekend astrology forecast for this weekend of April 16th through the 17th of 2022. Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. If you are not a member of HighVibe.tv, you're missing my daily horoscopes just like this, which I've been doing for over 10 years. I know I used to do them every day here on YouTube, but in 2015, I moved it on to my own platform, which has been now going on for over 7 years. So make sure that you join HighVibe.tv. Also, on Wednesday, April 20th, my Hypergate Manifestation Masterclass is starting. I've got the link down below, or you can go to highvibe.tv, click on Manifestation, or highvibe.tv, click on School, and it'll be right there. It'll be at the highvibetvschool.com. Lightworkers Academy. Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. It is a full moon in Libra, and there's a lot going on out there. And you all know when it comes to new and full moons, I always show up here on my YouTube with Deep Love Tarot every week and with spiritual dance music, which sometime this weekend I will find time to do it. Let's see what's going on in that astrology out there, everyone. Yeah, it's definitely got a lot going on here. We're going to cover it. If I can find my pen. There, yeah, I got a pen. Full moon in Libra at 26 degrees of Libra. We've got the sun here in Aries, of course, at 26 degrees. And this is a big one. You know why? This is the last big square to Pluto and Capricorn with the sun and its exaltation of Aries. That's right. If you look next year, it's the sun when it's in Taurus that will be squaring Pluto, and the following year, and the following, and the following, and the following, and the following. So this is the last big moment with the sun exalted, and especially the sun from Aries position that's going to be squaring to Pluto. Pluto at 28 degrees here of Capricorn, getting ready to go retrograde here before we come into the eclipse season. And remember that this full moon is also going to be the signal of, we're entering into eclipse season here, because in 2 weeks we have that solar eclipse in Taurus with Uranus. We are entering some really crazy phases here. Plus we are with all the planets direct, but guess what? Pluto is getting ready to station here soon. So you better be on it in your life. I know that a lot of people with all this Jupiter-Neptune that's been happening, right? Jupiter-Neptune made their conjunction on the 11th and 12th of April. We're never going to see that again in our lives, of course, in Pisces, the two rulers. This is a full moon that's covering a lot. And I'm going to show you it all, but I have to cover all of it, right? Jupiter-Neptune. This is important, the two rulers of Pisces, because this has not happened since 1856. It won't happen again in our lives. And right after this full moon happens on Saturday, so it depends on where you're at in the world, of course, but at 11:55 a.m. Pacific, 2:55 p.m. Eastern, and wherever you're at around the world, I don't know. You got to figure that out on your own. Jupiter leaves Neptune and will never hit Neptune again in Pisces. Yes, Jupiter will retrograde back into Pisces this year, but only come to 28 degrees. So we are not going to see Neptune go farther in 25 this year. So this is it, folks. Like, the doors have closed. Let's talk about that first. This is a big closing door to open a big door, and you are in between realms. And that's what this full moon's really covering, because, of course, it is dealing with Pluto. Pluto, of course, dealing with that death, rebirth process. But it there being in Capricorn, it's dealing with where do we have restrictions in our life? What's setting us back, especially the rules we set in our life, or continuing to try to have and be obsessed with things that keep blocking us in our life, but they come from inside. We have so much energy in Pisces now. Mars just ingressed into Pisces just within the last 48 hours of this new moon. And so that adds a lot of energy into the Pisces realm, right? We got Venus exalted here. And so you're never going to see, there's only 3 energies that could be in Pisces that get really powerful energy. The 2 rulers, of course, Jupiter, Neptune, and then Venus exalted. That's it. So you get all 3 of these energies, and they're real close together. And you get then Mars to add into this energy. Oh my gosh. So everything right now is about the big door to close. And why? Well, it's Pisces. It's the 12th house. It's energy that has to deal with what is no longer spiritually part of the cycle you want to be part in anymore. And with the squares to Pluto, the great death and rebirth, the changes, the restrictions that you're putting on yourself, the limitations that are extreme, and also the control system that you internally don't know how to get rid of in yourself, or you're too obsessed with controlling the situations too much in your life. Like, I gotta have control. I gotta have control. But it's like, oh my God, you're blocking so much shit. You're blocking so much of the beauty that you could be having in your life. That's what Jupiter and Neptune are trying to show here. But, you have to follow your intuition here and believe in a greater dream in your life. You have to believe that the best is yet to literally come. And it's whether or not you're ready to shut the biggest doors in your life. Pluto square to the sun in Aries, Pluto square to this full moon in Libra. So relationships are a big part of this. And this is what I've been saying for years of the come up from 2019 through these times, that it's all connected to relationships or the lack thereof, right? There's some people who I'm in a real deep hole with someone. And then there's others that are like, well, I'm in the hole by myself. Depends on where you're at on this one, but it's the transition. And this one's really interesting because, of course, Libra wants to bring us our balance in our life. It's definitely an analytical air sign, but it's a cardinal sign, right? So we have to take action. And Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, and Mars in Pisces are making this very difficult for us to take action, because it's a lot easier to just sleep it off or avoid it or shove it under the rug. But with all the planets direct, all of them, from Mercury all the way down, you'd be an idiot with Pluto getting ready to station here in retrograde here at the end of April, and a solar eclipse starting on April 30th to start the eclipse cycle with Uranus. You want to enter into this new doorway, and you don't want to miss out. This is not where you go, I'm going to push it another month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever. This is where you have to really be honest with yourself now, because I've never seen a chart in our lives, doing the collective as long as I have every day as a video, where I don't know what to tell y'all, but you know what? That's pretty stacked. I remember, I think it was 2013 or 2014. That new moon that was in Pisces, that was stacked with Neptune and Chiron and Mercury and I think Venus, and it might have been Mars. It was pretty close there. I haven't seen this much Pisces, though, with the 2 rulers, right? And we'd have to be since 1856. Do I look like I'm from 1856? At least I kind of do a little bit. I got my beard going here. I got a fucking jacket on like that. Hello, you want me to stop for a picture? For 6 hours? That's so Pisces, right? Stop for a picture for 6 hours? Could you imagine? Why do you think they all didn't smile? It was just like 6 hours. So I think that you have to realize that you look like you're in that picture that we look at from the 1850s and 60s and 70s, where you're like, man, those people didn't look happy. It's more like you're frozen going, what do I do? Especially with a full moon in Libra. Oh God, but I got to think about the other, and I got to think about, I don't want to cause any disharmony in my life. But I think the big question here with Pluto and Capricorn is like, do you know how to execute at the highest level? Pluto's now at 28 degrees. It's going into Aquarius next year, right? So we have to remember, like, this is it, right? This is the big moment here for Pluto too. And it's whether or not you know how to execute in your life decisions. It's not easy. And I know that the last, since 2007 into 8, right, of Pluto ingress into Capricorn has been every situation in your life. It's when you take the biggest risks of your life and the biggest transformations and really go to what feels called to you in your life that better things come. You receive more. But the more that you sit in limbo land, that's the problem. And I don't care where you're at. And you could use your ego and be like, I'm so fine. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I don't need anything to change. Well, that's real easy when you have that much energy right now in the 12th house. The other thing to describe right now is Saturn, of course. Saturn here at 23 degrees of Aquarius. And what does it do? It's squaring the south node in Scorpio and that north node in Taurus. Ooh, Saturn squaring the nodes. Well, I guess that's another way to say some karmic fucking decisions to make in your life and to take some action in your life and to stop being in the craziness yourself. It reminds me of the kid in Jurassic Park who's just sitting on the electrical fence. Timmy, right? Timothy, what was his name? Tim. And he's with not Malcolm, right? He was with, I forgot what his name was, but and they're about to switch the power back on. The fucking warning signs go on, and there he is. Okay, give me another 3. I'm going to count down to 3. When he counts down to 3 and he gets to 2, they turn the power on and he gets shocked. That's Saturn in Aquarius square the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. Because really what it is, and I'll dissertate this a little bit more clear for you. What this is you facing your greatest fears, and because the dispositor of this south node here in Scorpio is Pluto, Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio, and it's being squared by the moon, it's the illusion that I can just stay in the shit and I don't have to make a change. And also I just, I want control. I want control of my changes. I want change to happen on my time. Oh, no. I sound like that guy from everybody makes a story with that fucking, like, oh, no. No. Like, this is the divine. This is the 2 rulers of Pisces. They are 2 gas giants. Jupiter being the biggest, Neptune being the 3rd. If you count Saturn, I don't even know what to count Saturn as anymore. I know it's the 2nd biggest planet, but gee, many Christmas. So, emotion, illusion, but more importantly, the wide, expansive universe that we're in, where it looks like you're a deer in the headlights, or you're on drugs or alcohol, which I would definitely not recommend doing, or escapism, at the highest degree, because this is where you have to face the truth. It's a justice full moon in Libra. So you're going to have to face the truth, whether you like it or not. It's a Saturn in Aquarius square the north node in Taurus, which is saying, are you ready to make a wild and different change that's honestly going to be about breaking you through to a better life? But you're going to have to make a crazy change. It's going to have to be a disconnection too. There's so much here saying, especially just think about this, right? If you don't count the sun and the moon, just planet-wise, and I'll do it right through the middle there, right? Through the where the nodes are, there's no planets. Still, everything's on one side of the nodes. Okay? You're lopsided. You feel like you have everything on one side of life, and then the other side of life, you're like, nope, I don't have it at all. I don't have it at all. Well, another way to look at it would be this. From Jupiter in Pisces all the way to Pluto in Capricorn, we've got major heavy hitters of outer planet energy and major rulership energy, except for Pluto. Pluto's not the ruler of Capricorn, but here we go. Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius, Mars, Venus, Neptune, Jupiter. These are the last 3 signs of the zodiac. And that's stacked. That's a caboose. That's the old food in your fridge that has not hit the trash. You know what I mean? That needs to hit the trash. The expiration date is up. You gonna still try and eat that? Well, I guess in Biden's America with food shortages and fucking the crazy fucking world control government that wants us all to fucking starve to death, maybe we are gonna have to start like extending the, okay, it's only 2 weeks old. That's fucking good. Think about that though. But really, I mean, it's coming down to also with Venus and Mercury and Uranus, they're all gonna have a party together. We're seeing Mercury and Uranus start to get together this weekend, and they will right after this full moon. And that is really interesting to me because you're going to have to realize that there's a future. Everything's pointing towards moving to the future. And I think the big question is with what? Well, with what has value on the other side that the other side sees as well, right? So because we're dealing with relationships, a full moon in Libra, and Venus and Uranus are making a sextile. So we got Uranus here at 1344. We got Venus here at 1208. Look at that sextile. The two planets that deal with relationships, and Venus is exalted and Uranus is here with Mercury. So there's a social aspect to this, a communication aspect, a change of environment. You have to realize that this is like it doesn't matter where it comes from, the past, the future, the present, wherever it is, because we're dealing with all of it at once. Okay, you're dealing with every fucking timeline at once right now. So all the people being like, oh God, it's just about I clear my whole past. I can't have anything but the past. It's like, okay, if your fucking grandma popped out of nowhere that you were estranged from, you gonna fucking cut her off? Like, people take this astrology shit too basic. They're all Instagram astrologers now and shit. They just like don't know their astrology. I hate to say it. So it's like, this is where it's just what connection sees the same value in moving in the future together in the same way. Doesn't matter if it's past, present, future. This is literally a moment, especially with Venus there in Pisces, Jupiter, Neptune in Pisces. Yeah, there's a tingle of the past. There's a tingle of what feels similar past life. There's a tingle of what feels faded extremely. Saturn, the planet of karma that is squaring the nodes. Venus and Uranus, the two planets that deal with relationships in sextile with Mercury, that's with Uranus. Definitely getting a big answer that's going to be mind-blowing about how to better your life and move forward. Saturn putting this huge karmic moment in our lives, a full moon in Libra for the last time that we'll see a full moon in Libra square Pluto and Capricorn, about making big execution changes in your life, making big decisions, taking big risks, having to get to the bottom of where you keep restricting yourself from what's the best thing in your life. The big question is, what are you holding back from in your life? What are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of to actually bring true harmony in your life? That's the big thing. That's the big thing. So, I know a lot of people got to kind of go, oh yeah, I don't know. Like, this isn't happening in my life or whatever. It's like, no, well, what are you afraid of happening in your life? What you know what you really want, but what's holding you back? What's your biggest fear? Like, that's what this is all about, because South Node in Scorpio with Pluto and Capricorn is control freak. I want control of the timing of when I want my change. I want my change to happen the way that I want it. I want to receive change. I want God to come in with fucking angels. This is what Jupiter, Neptune, trine the South Node is too, right now. In Pisces, right? To South Node, Scorpio. I want God to come through with angels and just do it all the work. I just want it all to happen. I don't want to have to actually like interact with life. I don't want to have to do it. I just want everything to just show up. I just want it all to just show up and but figure itself out and just deal with all of it. I don't have to do shit. It will just change in front of me. That's the problem. Your only way out of this is action. All the planets direct. Sun in Aries. Last time in your life, you will have the Sun in Aries square Pluto and Capricorn with a full moon in Libra too. Let's not forget about that. That this full moon in Libra is going, I'm not happy in finding my balance. I know I need to balance things out. We have the nodes, right? And they are out of balance with planets. It's lopsided. So well, we can't change the planets, but what we could do in our life is go, why am I putting so much into this side of my life, and this other side that I want really bad, I'm putting none. And I'm expecting God to do it all for me. God's opening the doors. It's whether or not you're going to walk through them. It's whether or not you're going to make the change. And a lot of this has to do with extreme fears. And this is bringing up that the collective is a bunch of control freaks. So, you inside of yourself have to look up where you're causing control freak issues about limitation, restrictions. And this is going to be where, I'm going to be honest with you, blunt energy is the best energy you want. You don't want to be in lollygag moment. No, well, I don't know. This is where it's just like, be blunt. Nope, I don't really want to do this. Okay, at least it's removed. Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, and Mars in Pisces. We only get through with the flow, but if we have a bunch of shit backed up in the fucking porta potty, it ain't flowing. Right now at Coachella, those fucking porta potties are flowing, and probably some of them might not be. Okay? You got to realize that in life there's shit, and the shit is the collection that we keep collecting in our subconscious, especially right now, about where am I fucking holding myself back? Where am I pushing it under the rug? Where am I delusional and thinking that I can have what I want, but when the universe brings it, I'm not showing up to it? This isn't for outside people to judge. That's what Saturn and Aquarius, where these nodes are. Stop worrying about the judgment of other people. Sun in Aries here is saying, I have to make this choice for myself. I'm exalted. Yes, you're at home, Saturn, but Saturn's getting squared by the nodes, and the nodes serve to the pleasure of the sun and the moon, not Saturn. Don't forget about that one. So a lot of it is control, but a lot of it is worried about what other people are going to react, think, and a lot of it is you creating in your own subconsciously crazy mind about it. Well, if I make this move, we'll use an example. Let's say you like somebody and you want to get in a relationship, but you're friends with this person and that person, and they might know them a little bit, or they might be triggered, or they could be what? It's you start getting into all these places where it's you try to make everybody fucking happy. You can't make everybody fucking happy. Okay? So you have to start to realize there's going to be people that are not going to be happy no matter what aspect you make. It's not a chart for, oh yeah, everybody's going to be happy. No. The best thing you can do is make yourself happy, but what is the connecting links? The connecting links are the energy that sees the same as you do and sees the same value and is ready to move into that future together. And whether or not people are going to agree with that or not isn't up to them. It's up to you. And if your connection with a job, your connection with a project, your connection with your creativity, your connection with God, your connection with a partnership, this is a big check. If you're in partnerships, right? Whether it's friend, lover, or not, business partnership, it's are we on the same page? Entering new ones, are you fully out and kicked out spiritually of what doesn't work for you anymore, so we can move forward? Because that's one thing. Try to move forward right now with people who are still in the loop shit. Ain't gonna work. Okay? If they've got to this point and they can't get out of the loop and they're too afraid, they're a scaredy cat, you really think how well they're gonna do in the future? Think about that shit. Nobody's gonna tell you that shit. Everybody's too fucking nice and woke. You want my real harsh truth about this full moon, Libra? Everybody is saying they're spiritual. Yeah. Most people that are spiritual are just going to be in the audience. There's only going to be some players that are going to be in the play, the characters of this play, of this crazy new story that we're all going to see in the world. Are you going to be in the audience, or are you going to be in the play? It's a test for every single person, including myself, including any other spiritual person out there in the world. If you can fully 100% go into the transformation and not lie to yourself anymore, right? Not lie to yourself anymore that you are toxically connected to things that aren't good for you. Don't know what to tell you, but you're too afraid to kick it out. Too afraid to kick it out. You can't be too afraid to kick it out. This is your justice that you have to give to yourself for a better life, for a better truth, and for a life that's going to be the life that you really want. And you can do that with compassion by being honest. Mercury here with Uranus and Taurus is about having substance, but also reminding with Uranus there, some people might be shocked, right? It's like a shock thing, or it's like, well, I really don't feel substance in this, or I feel extreme substance in this. What do you feel? Do you feel that substance too? That's going to be both sides. There's going to be shocks of, oh my God, you're really not into this. And then, oh my God, I was into this and I thought you were into this too, but I didn't know. And we are. Oh my God. It's going to be both. That's the irony of these times. So, and this is not going to be easy because there's nothing after this that's like this in our life. After this, it gets... Every moment where you're not living in your truth, you think Jupiter in Aries is going to give you anything when Jupiter enters into Aries coming up here, when the eclipses come and all that stuff? You think Jupiter in Aries is going to give you anything if you're living in a lie? No. I remember the last time Jupiter was in Pisces with Uranus in 2010, and then it went into Aries. I got everything I wanted because I remember I had got to a place where I surrendered everything in my life that wasn't good for me. And I saw the goal of the reality show True Beauty was coming on. It was my third reality show, and it was going to go national. And I remember being like, everything that's not working in my life is out of my life, and I'm just going to let fucking Jupiter and Aries fucking give me everything because I'm in my truth. I'm in my spiritual truth. And that's what created where I'm at today, 12 years later. And I wouldn't be successful, and I wouldn't have all the shit that I have in my life if I would have been a liar at that moment. Been in a relationship that wasn't working. Been in fucking toxic friendships that weren't working. Being around energy that was not working in my life, and also working a job that I knew was not going to work for me. It's not hard, folks, but you know what? It takes a Aries strong energy. It takes you to be able to go, I'm not going to live in a lie. And with Chiron here, that's in Aries, a lot of this is this. It creates a fear of taking action, feeling like it's going to feel too weird, or, I don't want to be alone, or I don't, and that's not going to, if you're afraid of that shit, just go in the audience. Go be a spiritual bystander in the audience. So this is the universe weeding out who's really on the train of the fate train of our lives. And these crazy moments that we're all in is because everybody's too afraid to fucking be real. Everybody's too afraid to be like, I don't want to, this isn't serving me anymore in my life. I have this other imaginative place that I want to go, but I don't know. I don't know how to take care of that. Or I have a lot of blocks up, which is the same whether you're in a piece of shit relationship or you're single. We're just seeing it. It's gone rampant. I make a joke on Instagram that all the people in relationships are jerking off to single people, and all the single people are jerking off to fucking people in relationships. That's Saturn in Aquarius to me. It's just so funny. It's yeah, and I know it's Easter. But if you're going to have rotten eggs that you're hiding, it's going to ruin Easter. You know what I mean? It's going to ruin Easter. So, this is definitely a time where you have to ask yourself, I think at the deepest level, am I going to keep living in this hellhole of my own self, my own purgatory, my own restriction to the life I really want in my life? And am I really ready to bring that new vision forward? And that we don't know what the outcome is going to be with Jupiter and Neptune. It's very mysterious, to say the least. It almost kind of feels like you have to go into the greatest leap of faith of your life, which Pluto here at the end of Capricorn would be. You're at the edge of a cliff. You're at the edge. And there's a little bit left of this tall mountain to climb, right? And you're right there. And it's like, oh my gosh. So this is either you're going to get glory in your life, which of course all the high vibers know this from Deep Astrology this week, but you're either going to get glory by taking action and changing things and letting go of restriction in your life, or you're just going to live in hesitation. Okay? What'll it be? People probably don't remember that from old movies. But, do you want the glory of Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces, and you want that Easter glory of God, of Jesus, and the light and the white doves? Or do you think Jesus hesitated? Because I'm just talking to the Christians here for that, and the chat seems to be getting all Easter Christian, which, by the way, it's based off astrology. Easter is happening on Sunday because it's on the Sunday after the first full moon that we have in Aries, after the sun passes over the equator, like and the equinox, this equinox point. It's fucking crazy that people are still lost in King James version of the Bible. Fucking don't even know their fucking Bible history. Don't even know the fuck's going on. It's sad. I mean, that's where we're at right now in life. We're at a point to where people are, oh, it's Easter because the calendar said it's Easter, and my church tells me I'm supposed to do it using astrology. What you want to say? It's astronomy. you want to call it astronomy? So, and you know what else South Node in Scorpio has to deal with, which I think is an extreme theme coming up right now with Pluto being the dispositor and being squared by this full moon, is your fear of change. The moon is at fall position there, and after this full moon, that moon this weekend comes into Scorpio. And so are you going to just like hold on to the pain and the suffering and not let go of and let transform what emotionally isn't serving you in your life anymore? And take that risk of, I'm going to take the pain and the suffering of hell, or go into the Taurus energy of heaven with Uranus there, the ruler of the skies and the air, or other translations was the ruler of right next to heaven, right? The heavens. And are you going to move your life into a true godly energy, which is you being in alignment with where God is opening the great door? Like, for example, I did this on Deep Astrology this week, and then it got flagged on Instagram because I drew a clown. This is the shit you're missing on High Vibe. I'm sorry to say, all these YouTube astrologers out there, shit, have fun. I know my worth and my value, and I'm not afraid to own that shit, and people get triggered by that shit, but fucking look at what they've got and look at what fucking, I'm just trying to say that they're not giving you more. They don't give you more. They give you the same shit all the fucking time. They're copycats. They don't, They don't do shit. They suck. They're just learning how to do Zoom at these fucking astrology conferences now and shit. And they're all afraid to go to conferences. Oh, God, you don't have that. Oh, God. They're a bunch of pussies. And astrologers were never pussies, by the way. So what's this doorway opening? Well, if we just look at right now, and I'm doing this horoscope, as this, well, we can see this full moon is starting right here. Okay? So there's the sun, there's the earth in the middle, there's that full moon. But at the same time of this full moon, it's the last moment of Jupiter and Neptune in alignment, okay? So what does that mean? Well, from Earth's point of view, and because Jupiter's, of course, the exact conjunction just happened, which we could go to the 12th here and see the exact conjunction, right? Look at this. This is a massive doorway that's opening that we'll never see in our life, right? It's like two big, huge doorways here into your life of opening up to the ethereal, of opening up to the biggest place that you could ever go in your life. But what, you're gonna just do the opposite? You're gonna just ignore God opening this great window into the most heavenly, divine, spiritual place? And do you think that you bring your body with you back up to heaven? Like, do you think that you think I bring my Sprite back up to heaven with me? You leave everything from this existence. It's Pisces, mutable water. You leave it all when you go back up. So why are you afraid to let go of the things in this life that aren't serving you to open up, to go to the doors that God is opening up in this physical reality right now? That's the big question. What are you so attached to that's not serving you, and that is actually evidentially not holding the truth and enough weight to the evidence that is going to do anything good in your life? Especially relationship-based, especially control-based energy right now within yourself, and fear of taking big risks, whether that's entering in or exiting out, or both at the same time. It's both. It's both. So, we have to remember that we just went through. So just to recap here, there's Jupiter and Neptune conjunct from an Earth's point of view. Okay. But if we come back to today, as we come to this weekend, if you remember, we had Venus and Mars conjuncting after we saw the Venus retrograde, of course, right? Then Mars came with Venus, and when Venus had gone direct, Mars caught up with Venus, and Mars actually passed Venus, and then Venus caught back up to Mars in Aquarius. But from Earth's point of view, look at that. You don't see Venus and Mars in between Saturn anymore either. We were seeing Mars and Saturn, Venus and Saturn conjunct there just a month ago. So we're done with a lot of the harder work. It's like already the universe has shown you what to do. It's just whether or not you're going to execute it now and open the door. I can't describe it any better. Or you're going to feel like a troll to God, like a little troll under the bridge. Like, I don't listen to God. I don't want it. I want control of it this way. I'm too afraid. Like, anybody using the whole, I'm going through a lot of shit right now, welcome to the fuck club. You haven't looked around? You haven't looked around at the whole fucking place yet? You haven't looked at all of Earth? You haven't looked at the whole fucking collective? You haven't looked at fucking everybody on their Instagram, everybody on their fucking Facebook, everybody in fucking countries and the world and the media? You haven't seen it all? Everybody's got a lot of fucking heavy shit going on. So you can't use that excuse. Oh, it's too much. I have so much going on right now. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the club. Everybody's in that fucking place. We're all in it together. So if you're going to keep using the whole, I can't change my life right now, it's just too much, I've been hit with blow after blow. Have you seen my chart? It's like, yeah, I guarantee you, every single person's chart's being hit like a motherfucker. Doesn't matter. When you have all the planets on one side of the nodes, guess what? Everybody's chart, no matter where you're at, you're either in conjunction or opposition or square in every part. Everybody's dealing either with a Pluto big thing, or everybody's dealing with Jupiter Neptune big thing, or everybody's dealing with a Saturn big thing right now. So there's nobody on the planet fucking dealing with none of it, because it hits all 12 signs, and it hits all 12 fucking signs in a way that would hit all the planets for everybody in every way. So there's nobody that has an excuse. Straight up. So, honestly, who are spiritual fucking badasses for real? That's the big question. Because God's doing the ultimate calling now to open up your greatest fantasies. And are they really fantasies? They're maybe actually dreams that are true. But that can't happen if you're going to hold on to the bullshit reality and fantasy that's no longer one. And you're going to keep trying to fucking throw more fucking porta potty blue chemical over the shit to make the smell go away when it needs to get pumped out. That's Pisces. And so with this full moon here, we have to remember too, there's Mercury that just came back around the sun. So Mercury's starting to slow down. Remember when Mercury does its cazimi like we saw just about a week ago, it reached its fast. It was doing over 2 degrees a day. Oh, wait, now Earth. Oh, hi, Mercury. Yeah, come back for retrograde energies. Everything's getting ready to retrograde here soon. Not everything, but, a good amount. Right? Pluto and Saturn are definitely getting ready. And those two are what caused 2020. So I just want to let people know, yeah, it's fun when all the planets are direct, because it almost becomes too tiring, because we go, well, I have more time. But whenever we're in retrograde, it's I wish I had the moment. And you have all the wishes right now of changing your moment right now. So I hate to do this every year to people, but it's even more so now with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction on this full moon, because it's almost like, hey, are you really going to just continue right now in a moment where all the moments are right now that you can change things, because in just 2 weeks ahead, it won't be the same. And the longer you go down the year and you look at a Mars retrograde coming at at this fall in Gemini, Jupiter retrograde happening in July, we're going to have Pluto come retrograde here at the end of April, May, Saturn retrograde, June. We're coming into insane energies. Mars coming into Aries, yes, but then we'll come into Taurus and then Gemini in retrograde. So, that's a detriment place for Mars in Taurus. I'm telling you, folks, this is not going to be fun for you if you're not going to make changes and act like there's nothing going on in my life. You are lying to yourself and to the collective. You want to see the world change. It's whether or not you're going to face all the bullshit that's out of whack, especially with Mercury Uranus here, which is a genius energy in Taurus, going, what's my best life that I could have? And it might seem crazy fast and instantaneous. That's how you know you're on the right path, because all of this is coming in so fast because of what's coming up. Eclipses, Pluto retrograde, the last Sun square Pluto, and that's what's coming up through this whole thing is Sun square Pluto throughout the whole weekend and into Monday. And this full moon is tapping into it a lot. You need to change. It's not real. That it's a fantasy, the stuff that is already not working. That's Saturn square the nodes too. Saturn's been trying to teach you, oh yeah, that's not working. I've tried every little tool I can. I've tried to put it together as much as I can here and there, and it's not working. So, and again, even with Lilith that's in Gemini, again, I'm going to keep processing it too much. I don't want to listen to what Leo King's saying. I don't want to listen to what the astrology is saying. I want to figure this out in my head. And this full moon is exactly at the moment it's happening, making a Ceci quadrant to Lilith. Exact. Look at that. 135. Owie, mama. Owie. And there's some other auspicious aspects. The semi-square of Venus to the Sun. This full moon in quincunx to Jupiter, Neptune. Right? So it's like almost like a judge, like, oh, that evidence over there, it's a lot of evidence. Holy shit, let's take a break from the court for a minute before we take a look at the evidence that the defense has to bring or the prosecution has to bring. You can't keep hiding it. You can't keep pushing it to another day. It's going to be detrimental to your life. You can do everything you can. This is where Mercury and Uranus with the sextile to Venus too, right? Because actually this moon came into a minor yod that happened yesterday on Thursday, right? That, you know, let's say you're trying to make communication to understand something for a job, a person, a situation, and you're not getting it back and you're not getting it the way that you want to, then you've got your answer. Make it easy on yourself. Make it very easy. Anything that's truly avoiding situations right now, it's not your responsibility to tell other people right now what they need to be more like. It's only about finding others that want to be like, connecting and want to create in the same collaboration and cohesive understanding of each other. That all that you need to worry about right now. You don't need to worry about everybody else, and you don't need to go throwing your projections on other people of how they should be more. Like, just get your answer simply. It's not that hard. Maybe it'd make the whole entire universe a lot easier right now, unless everybody's out there trying to fucking, you need to be this way more. You need to do this more. It's like, did I ask? Because there's already enough energy everybody's trying to balance out or not, and everybody is like finding the right moment and the right energy when it's naturally happening in the most crazy fucking way. That's what this is. So if you're looking for answers, stop watching all those tarot fucking shows and fucking watching the other person and all that shit to figure out where are they at? Are they at there? They're running a gamut on people right now because they don't even realize it, but they don't use astrology well enough, at least, to understand that everybody's in a place where it's so fucking topsy-turvy about relationships and connection right now, and it's lost. So everybody's trying to understand the other person. And where are they at? And how da-da-da-da-da. It's like, well, obviously, probably that's not working if you've made every attempt that you could say. I attempted, I wrote an email, or I texted, or I called, and I didn't get much response back. Well, okay, then there's your answer. How well have negotiations been going in the Ukraine-Putin fucking Russian war? Real fucking bad. You think they're going to figure this one out? No, I don't think tarot people are scammers. I think that they don't realize the energy, though, that we're under. That's, you know, you hear all of them say cross-watchers now because they get a bunch of their views from cross-watching. So they get the view from you're talking to a guy who runs a spiritual fucking TV network and app and was the first one. Okay? I know all the analytics and I know all the astrology. Okay? More people are watching two signs now, not their rising, but somebody else. So you'll see like their two signs, and then you'll see the third. The person they're thinking about. That they're obviously not getting the answers. That's what I'm saying. So they're like, oh, I'm making more money now because I got more clicks. So they all say crosswatcher now. You notice that? You really think the person that you're trying to crosswatch is going to fucking show up in your life the way you want to? That's control. This is beyond your pay grade. If you want to just keep sitting on the park bench like Forrest Gump and not run, he waited for Jenny all the way till she had HIV and took her when she had HIV and then died with the, and then he got left with his son. That's a horrible movie. That's this moment. When she leaves the house before she goes and gets HIV and gets pregnant with them, are you going to be one of those people? Damn, I just fucking dropped some truth bombs. Are you just waiting on Jenny? Oh, yeah, she's out there fucking having a good time. Fucking she's out there ready to jump off a fucking building. Probably on drugs too, right? With all that fucking 12th house shit going on right now and all that Pisces. That's what those tarot people are telling you about. Oh, shit. That crosswatcher thing that you're reading? Oh, yeah. There's only a couple people that I actually trust in the tarot world out there. Minopon, Rich Law. There's like 4 or 5 others. Ramblin' Mike. I'm missing like another 5 that I follow, but there's about 8 that I follow, and that's about it. Because everybody else I've looked at, I'm like, nope, they're not getting it. They're not applying the spirituality. They're not tapping in, you can tell. So, and they're not giving advice on how for people to like get over stupid situations. Like that's how you can tell. They're not giving you advice outside of just the tarot and what the tarot says. They're also spiritual people giving you spiritual advice through this shit. And that's important during these times because everything is spiritual through this moment right now. There's no other answer to anything. The only answer is through, what does your gut say? Or is it your fantasy over a gut, Because the real true dream shit, when you're manifesting and feeling the dream, it's not a question. If you're having questions right now, I would just call it a no. And that might be so hard. And it's not even about cutting cords, right? Because we're all connected in this motherfucker, right? But it's about energetically saying goodbye energetically to your energy being put into that energy and giving your energy source back, because really you're just giving your energy away. You're just giving your energy away. And even though it could be nice things, right? Like somebody might be just going through anxiety in their life and they have a hard time getting out, and but it's like, where are you at in your life? Are you at a place where you're killing it right now, making it, and you're on your journey and you're doing a great job? Are you gonna really allow something to hold you back? That's what's hard about these moments. We got to be there for each other and everything. But when you have some of these questions where it's like, we're all here to do the light work. We're all here to have the best life. And you want to talk about the media, Jupiter, Neptune, whatever's been going on for the last fucking, especially since Jupiter last year came into Pisces, which I predicted by July of 2021. I said, shatter reality. They're going to like lie to you and tell you it's all fine. And then they're going to pull it all back. Right. Now they're saying it's all fine, but all you do see is on the news every day. Another celebrity dead, another athlete dead, another celebrity dead, and I called that out. I said, you're going to watch a 2022, more people dying and acting like everything's fine. And just everybody just starts dropping like flies. Blah, 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 blah. Are you in denial of that? Are you in denial that they just keep releasing the papers every fucking month, that the court's forcing the Pfizer papers out? Have you not read them yet? Are you in that much of a denial? Like, that's how much, you know, how many people that I know got that fucking thing? And I'm trying to help them so they can get information to figure out how to get that fucking serpent out of them. They don't want to read the papers. No, I don't want to read that. It's fake news. I'm like, fake news? The court's fucking, federal judges fucking made sure that confidential data that they were going to try and keep secret till the 2070s got released every month. That's how crazy of a fucking world we live in right now, that especially 80 to 90% of the astrology community that got that motherfucker told people to get it in their fucking horoscopes, which I called out. And I said, anybody doing that shit is a fucking, they should fucking literally have ethical issues right now. They always push the ethical on me because I always said, I'm not here to make the choice for you, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't try an experiment during Saturn square Uranus and Aquarius and fucking Taurus. But fucking all these fucking sellouts out there, and then they won't even tell you about the papers that are out showing you how bad and what happened and what was the truth about that shit. That shit is where we're at in a dystopian Pisces thing. So you're doing that in your relationships. Oh, it's horrible. I get abused. I'm not in love. We don't have sex anymore. We don't do anything great anymore. But I'm too afraid I'm going to lose money, or I'm going to lose like this house, or my kids. It's going to be weird. Well, a happy mom, a happy dad makes a happy fucking parent. Not a not satisfied, not a not happy mom or dad doesn't make a good parent. Or you fucked up and made mistakes and you can try and fix things, and if the other person doesn't want to fix, then you have to let it go. Or somebody did something fucked up to you and they come back and they apologize to you. That's up to you if it feels right. If not, then you let it go. No, I know Marin. She's not a scammer. She knows what's up. She's trained in astrology more than most of these astrologers out there. So I'll back up my friends anytime, but Marin Altman definitely is not a scammer. So I'm not going to get into who is, though. That's not where I need to be at right now in my life. I don't need to be, I need to be focused. I'm not going to give my energy to shit that doesn't matter. Right? We all know who's the scammers out there. We all know who doesn't speak the truth. We all know who has no balls or ovaries enough to be honest the whole time and show up the whole time and show up for a decade plus and continue to bring the truth out whenever the astrology is saying what it says, and continuing to help people see the truth and to be in their own energy and to thrive in their life. And we know the people who are out there fucking too afraid to own that shit. We don't need to call them out by name. They're pretty easy to see. I mean, should I name names? I think the great test in the world is people that know. You know what I mean? No, I did not change my cigarette brand. Okay, I'll call out one. Susan Miller is a shill. I mean, because you all have seen the video. It's on my YouTube. Just do Conscious Life Expo 2020. And her telling the whole entire world that 2020 was going to be such a great year, and it was a great year to get married. And just don't get married during the Venus retrograde. But other than that, make your wedding plans during this time and all that. Like, who would even say that knowing that Saturn and Pluto were meeting in Capricorn with Pluto, and Jupiter was coming in too into Capricorn, and that this world was going to shut down, which I said. And that there would be fucking people trying to take our rights away and all that shit. Like I said we all need to band together and not fall for the spell at that conference. And she's out there fucking touting when it's going to be a good time to get married. Do you think 2020 was a great year to get married? Or the Astro Twins, I'll call them out. You know why? Because they were putting in their fucking horoscopes, go get the shot. How many people fucking died that followed that advice in the horoscope? Are they going to answer to that? Anybody who works with them, they need to really think. People wouldn't work with me for the last 2 years because they're like, this guy's against it. This guy, it's hello. I'm reading astrology. And hello, I've been right the whole time. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the hard part. I'll take fucking loss of views. I will take loss of money. I will take hits like a motherfucker to stay in the truth. These people won't. They won't. They're shills. Stephen Forrest, I already called him out. He wouldn't even debate me from an astrological point of view. I said, how are you comparing this to a flu shot when it's a completely different thing? And evolutionary astrology, you don't want to talk about the evolution of the science right now and where the astrology's saying, and blocked me and tried to say that I called him names that I didn't. It's all, I have the screenshots. Like, I thought he was an old man who was like, you know, an old guard, that he had figured this shit out. Like, you want to ask the ones that understand it. But Stephen Forrest is a liberal in such a way that he'll stand with his liberal party all the way. And yes, I like Trump and I voted for Trump, but have you ever heard me praise Trump for the fucking yeah, right, I've said that was the dumbest fucking thing ever, and what an idiot. You're the president, so even if you might not have been involved and you put Mike Pence involved in that shit, you fucking signed the papers to get that shit through. So fucking you're just as much as fault. You know? So to wrap this up, the good news, I think it's been good news the whole time, but I think that, you know, you have to ask yourself the question when you have Saturn at a +8 squaring the nodes, like, you're supported in making radical changes in your life that are going to better your future, especially with the square to the north node here in Taurus, which is Venus ruled, and Venus is exalted, right? Venus is at +7 exalted during this full moon, and the moon is in Libra. It's a Venus full moon, right? Venus is in a great spot, and it's in sextile to Uranus, and it's in sextile to Mercury as well, which happens to be at a +2. Not bad for being a Taurus. We got the sun here, exalted. That ends very soon. That ends when we come into Taurus on April 19th. Remember, our Gregorian calendar system is always off to the natural divine time. You're going to see those switches after leap years like in 2020 and the 4-year leap cycles, and we have to always catch up. And with Jupiter, of course, being exalted too. So look at that. Jupiter, Saturn, boom, in their fucking rulership. And then, you know, Neptune, which of course they're not going to show that. Astro Gold needs to talk to me, or I need to talk to them. I need to be like, are you ready to add the outer planets? And like, let's throw some shit on here. Let's start making some scores, because, like, you know, it's just sad that the astrology community won't do that yet. It's 2022. And I think that the main thing here, too, is with Chiron and Aries, you know, that's kind of the hidden element of this whole thing, that the full moon's in opposition to that. Not exact, but enough to bring up, like, it's uncomfortable with all of us taking action right now, with knowing there's a much more beautiful life on the other side. And you can keep playing the victim of like an excuse after an excuse after an excuse of why you can't take the action in your life or go for what you really want in your life. But you're just gonna be left with nothing. You're gonna be left with yourself in the same pattern. In the hollow relationship, or the hollow life alone, or the hollow, it's in a hollow, it's Sleepy Hollow out there. In the middle of spring, it's Sleepy Hollow with Ichabod Crane. Like, that's what's kind of creepy with the Pluto square to this. The last one from the Libra Aries full moon axis here of the sun being exalted, squaring Pluto, the last time in our lives. We won't see a sun square Pluto in our lives with a sun exalted in Aries for the rest of our lives. This is the last one. So, you know, are you ready to finally put this control of your own self? We're so worried about the control systems outside. Well, if the collective is having problem with control of their own self. No wonder the politicians, no wonder the governments, no wonder the overreach we're seeing, because you're overreaching and controlling the narrative of your own story, that you're too afraid to let go of the timing that you want individually for things to change. Once I heal, once another month goes by and their mom's out of town and da-da-da-da-da. Once the da-da-da-da-da. Once the... That's all your excuses. And Aries is with this, right? 24 degrees of Aries. I mean, there is that feminine warrior energy that has to come out, right? Like that you have to go for it in life. This is the glory will come to those that go for it and make changes. But when you come at people, nobody's going to respond to you if you're coming people and demanding people to change, or demanding or complaining too. This is not a time to be complaining. You're not going to get anything. You know, like, know how to show your worth and value. Taurus is hard. You know why? If you have beauty issues, self-worth issues, everything like that, you already know you're the shit. So you know how to get the attention that you need. Just by just being the shit and not putting, you know, Taurus, one thing, because I got my moon in Taurus, and I love Taurus, and I love that we're in North Node Taurus. You want something in life? Guess what? When you go into a fucking nice fucking store in Beverly Hills, they won't let you try on outfits without putting down a fucking credit card that has enough to cover it. Okay? So if you're one of those people who are walking in the store like, I hope they don't fucking run their credit card on me because I don't know if I have enough yet. Oh my God, you're going to look, they know that for a second. Like, can you walk out of here, please? So when you're trying to approach things in your life that you want and you're fucking complaining, or you're showing up with that, I don't know, that uneasiness, or I don't know if I look good enough, or I don't know if I deserve this enough. It comes out with your complaints of things with Mercury and Taurus. In the North Node Taurus. Rahu pops its head complaining. Rah! Why aren't you da-da-da-da? It's your uneasiness. It's your self-worth issues. It's your self-worth issues. So the only way to get things in life right now is to not put burdens on other people, not trying to come into other people's lives if you want to connect with them. Like, I don't give a fuck if I don't ever have to connect with Susan Miller the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck. She's done. Her time's over. You know? Thanks for contributing to 1980 style fucking astrology. Thank you. But, you know, wish her the best. She's a Pisces too. So literally wish her the best. But when it, like, let's say I want to connect with somebody in my life, do you think I'm going to show up as a burden? Or is it cranky South Node Scorpio moment here? Scorpio and just trying to be like, you're not doing that. I deserve this. I need this. Oh my God. As a Leo being hit by all these planets extremely, I can tell you, a sun in Aries, a fire exalted sun, it's only going to connect with what's beautiful on the other side with the moon in Libra. The only things that are beautiful on the other side, that grass better look greener on the other side or I ain't approaching. If you're fucking crazy, looking weird, or coming with Pluto Capricorn and rules and ethical, like the invisible moral book in the world that's never been created, that people have created in society and pushed all over wokeness right now, right? Like, well, we've talked a couple times, or I don't know. It's like, tap into other people. Tap into other people. Like, it's easy to see if people have been busy or they've been working or they've been going through things. I had a friend who just lost their father and had a funeral last week. Do you think I'm going to fucking be like, why haven't you called? Hello? It's like, this is how simple it is. It's that simple. But you want to get something and you're going to show up as fucking, oh my God. You're not going to get shit. Right now, that's where the Venus-Uranus sextile is happening. and with Mercury is it better be sweet on the other side. Taurus, Pisces, right? And it's a mutual reception in a way because Uranus is at fall in Taurus, so it'll go to Pisces. It'll be like, all right, Venus, let's switch. And Venus is like, I'd rather go be in Taurus at home. So that's a nice mutual reception. And I'm telling you that it's one to where it better be sweet. You want to get more things? You present your sweetness. You present how great things are. You present how amazing that you are without having to present it. You become it. You embody it. It's annoying having to deal with people in life that are fucking too afraid to embody it and always fucking tripping out. You know? Or not knowing how to attract what they want or understanding what others... One of the greatest skills in life is understanding in Taurus. You want something, you have to know how to attract it in. Also with South Node Scorpio, right? Like you have to know how to attract it in. I purposely did a reel today saying I need a wife. And then I put up a picture of me on set last night and showed my chest hair and showed it purposely to prove, and we were all in on it here at High Vibe, to prove that attraction and sex sells. I got way more engagement, way more people that followed my shit because of that. And you know what's funny is people took it so serious too, without reading my then in the comment section what I was saying. So I think that people are that dumb right now, that people are not knowing how to attract what they want in their life. Because if you're going to be like, I'm going through too much, that's not attractive. We're all going through it. Because then people look at themselves like, well, I'm going through a lot of shit. Fucking everybody's got to be chill right now. And where can you find people that are chill? Taurus is chill with Uranus. Like, who's cool and fucking got the good shit? And like, yeah, fuck yeah. Let's go fucking have a great time. Let's go make things that are good. Let's go. And then people that want to go and people that see it in the same way. You know what I mean? It's on my Instagram. But think about that. And whether you all want to like it or not, whether you're in a relationship or not, this has to deal with relationships. So, you know, oh man. And where you're going, Pluto and Capricorn, and where your career will even go. If you're having money problems right now, it's probably the person you're with. Or the people around. Saturn square the nodes. Venus sextile Uranus. Mercury on top of Uranus sextile Venus. I mean, it's very simple to see that in this astrology right now. You know. And the last time the sun squares Pluto from an exalted sun in Aries, are you ready to face... You know, sun square Pluto is, I'm going to have the glory, or I am going to hesitate, and I'm going to use every excuse I've got in the book to set things off and restrict myself and not be my greatest self. That's your big question that you have to answer to yourself really fast here. But if you were watching High Vibe, I already was giving you all this. But I thought that, of course, I'd show up for this full moon and give people out there in YouTube world and public what you're missing out on, especially my manifestation school, which I did a 32-minute commercial about it. And on that one, it purposely triggers people to literally see that manifesting is not the same for everybody. I used my cars and all this shit to trigger people. And it even goes into that. So, but how do you really manifest? From your own unique code in your own chart. And what is it you're here to manifest? You know, the manifestation community is like, well, you can manifest anything. It's like, I agree with that. You can manifest anything, but some things you can manifest that are way too much of weight. Trust me. To hold this studio down for 5 years now? Holy shit. Good thing that I do have Jupiter in Capricorn. Good thing that I do have the moon in the 10th house. Good thing I do have my north node in the 10th house. You know, and good thing that during the south node transiting my 4th house solar and in natal, that I didn't go buy a mansion and leave this place. It's little things, and that's just the smidget of it all that you need to start thinking about in your life. Let's take a look at the cards. What do we have for this weekend? That's all I got. And then I don't know when I'm doing spiritual dance music. I'll be doing it sometime this weekend. You know, so. But, you know, I'm at the place too, you know, with YouTube, all that, like, I'm not afraid of being canceled. I kind of like being canceled. Because the people that are canceling me are all looking like idiots right now. They all canceled me for things that they thought were true, and they weren't. And I said it wouldn't be that way, and it turned out the other way. And right now, they're in their dystopian energy of, oh yeah, fucking, he was wrong. Like, I mean, how do you live with yourself? How can you live with yourself? Like, I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just saying that you have no problem giving people subscription money on YouTube where they take 50% and can't bring you better content, or for literally $6 a month, $6 a month. High Vibe we have our own apps, and the community comes out at the end of this month with social media and all that shit on the app. Do you really want to have spiritual convos and be part of a video every day, and all the talent and all my shows and all the lives and all of it on its own platform about spirituality, and you're not caught up in this other place with the chat and we're building the community on it? That's what we're releasing. So, you know, that's all I ask for is, like, I've done so much for the collective over 10 years on YouTube that it's like, it's the price of a gallon of gas now. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not giving up. Not giving up on creating the spiritual network. Not giving up like Oprah gave up. Like, I'm not giving up. Gaia's not a spiritual network. They do documentaries. They're not every day. They're not with you every day, you know, with you. And they're not building a community. And look up their fucking crazy shit on NASDAQ. And their fucking double, oh, we cancel you. And when you cancel, we really re-up you for 2 months so we can get more investment money on NASDAQ. Real nice people. All right. What do we got? And then, look at, I'm working at 2 in the fucking morning on a Friday night, now Saturday. That's the difference too from YouTubers and High Vibe. High Vibe, we're always here. We do shows every fucking week, and we do dailies every day, and there's so many of us, and we do them all in our own studios, and we put everything in love, and we put it back to the viewer, and we make them feel part of the community. We make them feel part of something, opposed to just a YouTube channel that's just like, hi, bye, later. The SEC is definitely not cool, but We're talking about the old SEC when it was cool about look up the shit about Gaia and NASDAQ and using people to gain money off you unsubscribing and then resubscribing you for 2 months to show investors, look at, we have so many people. Look at the filings. Real spiritual place. Why do you think David Wilcock wrote that email saying he wanted to leave but had to come back? Well, I don't want to get into that drama, but I know the story of that. It has to deal with tents and ecstasy and yoga girls. Look at that. Nine of Swords is our first card here. What are you so afraid of? But you know what? I like this card because it comes after the Eight of Swords where we're out of a fucking toxic place in our own mind and we wake up going, oh God. This is where we break through the chains of our fears. Seven of Wands upright to go get that glory, that valor by getting and reaching the high ground in your life. If you're going to stay on the low ground and not have the high ground when crazy shit starts hitting here, especially with the solar eclipse coming in the next 2 weeks and Taurus conjunct Uranus, a lunar eclipse that follows a month from now, and Scorpio square Saturn, you better be on the high ground right now in your life and stop having your fears of going to a better place and getting out of shit and getting out of the relationships that don't work and getting out of the place that's not the peace that you want and the emptiness. Our challenge that we got here is that Two of Pentacles. Interesting. I mean, do you want it to just be a slosh fest of just continually juggling? Stop juggling. Stop juggling. It's okay to kind of flow in the moment here, but juggling the same thing over and over and over again about whether or not you're going to take a better position in your life and you're going to just stay in your fear about that is not a good thing. Our overall that we got here is, wow, we got the Pope, we got the Hierophant. Our beliefs are everything, and what we commit to is everything right now. And this is a card that definitely deals with our spiritual beliefs, but it deals more importantly with the commitment of showing up every day to. You know, we're going to show up every day to a place where we're going to better our lives and we're going to grow and we're going to follow our spiritual truth, or are we going to lie to ourselves and keep not showing up to the truth in our life? Our spiritual advice card that we got is the Tower card here. It's okay to let everything fall down that's not of the truth anymore, to allow the new beginnings to happen. It's crazy that we got this card and it was upright too. What's up with that Tower? You know exactly what needs to come down. And I would say, especially with this King of Swords, you know, you have to be okay with it, and you need to look at it like how he's looking at it. He's not tripping out watching the Tower come down. He's like, finally, that makes sense. I've built my life on this relationship, this situation, these things that are not of truth. They're not of truth. They're not of where I can actually go to where I want to go. These are blocks. The universe is coming down and the divine's happening, right? Like just goodbye. You know, you don't need to have like some like vendetta either against this. I think it's more of stating in yourself, like, what's in my way of where I'm seeing my clarity right now? Not my fears. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to get to the high ground. I'm going to get to my valor in my life. I'm not going to keep wishy-washying things or dealing with wishy-washy things, because we can deal with wishy-washy things on the outside, but it's really ourselves on the inside, right? So it's like, just cut that off energetically. And then that Hierophant's a place that we show up to. That's the main thing. It's a place that you show up to every day. It's a place that you show up to your truth every day, that you kneel, that you make a commitment to that higher self, that higher, more positive spiritual place in your life. We can't lie there, you know? Because whether you agree with the church or not, or whatever religion that you are, or if it's just spiritual, we all show up to our spirituality. We all show up to God in that humbling energy every day, and whether or not we're living in our truth or not. And, you know, it's easy to kind of push it away, like, and just pray and just be like, oh God, I'm sorry, but continue to keep doing it. It's a little bit different when we actually truly show up and be like, all right, it's okay. It's okay to fucking fuck up. It's okay to be in these tower moments right now. It's okay to be in places that are not of our truth anymore and allow them to fall and to see that clarity that's coming. What's going on with love? We'll just ask one card. One card. Don't have me pick more. Page of Pentacles reversed. Stop waiting on answers from other people. If you want to hear something, reach out. And if they don't reach back, there you go. Stop waiting for the invitation that you want to have, because it ain't happening. Ask for the invitation that you want to have. If everybody started making action, and Mercury and Taurus has to ask to plant the seed and ask the farmers to plow and ask the fucking God in the universe to bring the rains. Like, you have to ask, you have to be, and it's okay to, if you don't get the answer that you want. It's okay. Don't have fear, because if it's not going to happen the way you want it to happen, God's opening up the big double windows here of Jupiter, Neptune to say, okay, that wasn't it, but look what I'm bringing you in now. Because the Tower card's always, sure, it might be scary, but it also is exciting things that are coming in. The electricity that's destroying what's no longer serving to create that star card to move into the truth, where we come back to the divine and we come back at our humbleness and our meekness, and we truly get to that place to where we're aligned within our life. And the truth is we don't live in a world where we lose it all. You still have your clothes. You still have your fucking, for girls, I guess, your curling irons and your straighteners and shit like that. It's not like God's taking and stripping your whole life away. But usually people that have been backed up into a corner so much right now, where they feel like, if I do let go of this person or let this situation or whatever, I'll lose everything. That's how toxic it is. But believe it or not, the universe will be there to pick you up if you're really willing to open yourself up and to open yourself up to the truth, and open and give yourself to that truth of the divine right now. Because this isn't about calling people liars. This isn't about like looking at yourself as a liar. This is about looking at yourself and being like, it's okay that I got into some very weird places in my life. I got into a lot of uncertainty. I got into a lot of places where I needed a lot of confirmation. And I've got enough confirmation. I appreciate you, God. I thank you, God, for everything that you've shown me with confirmation. And I'm going to execute in my life that confirmation with the no's and the yeses, wherever they may lie. Because we're weak when we keep needing something to show up and waiting for it, and it's not happening. And you're gonna realize that you've been waiting a long time for something to show up that hasn't. That's like the deep secret of this full moon in Libra. That your inaction in other areas could have brought you more glory, or it actually will bring you more glory when you do take action now. So I appreciate you all so much. Make sure that you join me on highvibe.tv every day by going to highvibe.tv, or just on your Apple or your Google phone or Roku or Apple TV. Just type in highvibe TV. You can subscribe through there. But if you want the cheaper rates for the 6-month plan, just go to highvibe.tv, subscribe through there, and you can download the apps and log in that way. Also, don't miss my manifestation, Hypergate Manifestation Masterclass, which starts on April 20th, Wednesday. Sign up now. Limited to 1,000 people only. It's filling up quick, so and to where you can do this class with me live. It's gonna be 5 classes, so for 5 weeks, just 3 to 4 hours every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you've been through any of my courses in schools, you know how I rock on those, whether it's Hypergate or whether it's that, or calling snake venom out 6 months ago, and now you're hearing about it all last week. I appreciate you all. I will see you on the next one. Love to you all. I'll do spiritual dance music. Many, full moon blessings are releasing and allowing. And with this one, having a sweet Venus sextile Uranus with Mercury, and having a big sweet Pluto that is willing to make the changes we all need in a very confrontational and frictional and extremely tense way. I wouldn't want it any other way with all the planets before they start going retrograde and we come into eclipse season. And I hope that I have given enough evidence on this horoscope, an hour and a half, to show you that you're not getting this anywhere else like this. You won't. Guarantee it. That's how much I don't want you to fail in your life. I appreciate you all. I'm always here for the collective. Talk to you soon. Adios.
Yeah, my name's on it. Manifesting this life, you can manifest whatever you want. But do you know how? Well, I mean, all this talk about manifesting, it's important, especially in these times. I mean, we don't know where anything's going. You got to stay strapped in. You know what I mean? Because financially, to the world wars, to food shortages, you know, a lot of people think it's crazy what I do, or it's poppycock. To understand yourself. I think it's important to understand yourself in these times to manifest through differently. I mean, if you think about just what happened at the end of the 1930s to the beginning of the 1940s, don't you wish those people might have been able to understand themselves better? We're in a world where the control systems are out to really determine what you are and how you should manifest. But that's all a reflection, right? The reflection that maybe you're the one who's programmed into how to manifest your life. Maybe there's a uniqueness to you that actually doesn't look like anything that you've seen before. If I want to roll up to work in my UTV, hey, that's my own unique design.